Welcome back, painting friends. Today we are going to paint a cute little ghost. Colors you're going to need are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, black, gray, and white. I always have my favorite 4 brushes, my 1-inch flat brush, my 10, 6, and 1 round brush. Don't forget to have a cup of water and a rag for keeping your brushes clean. So let's get started. So I'm going to make my background color a really light blue. And I'm gonna have some of that blue in my ghost also, but if you wanna make yours pink or purple, I mean, the background color is completely up to you. So I'm going to put a lot of white in the center of my canvas. And then without wiping my brush off, I'm gonna grab blue paint and I'm gonna start going around the edges. So this is a light blue, not a dark blue. And then I'm just gonna brush these colors together going across my canvas. And then we're gonna let this dry. We come back, we're gonna add in some ghosts. Well, one ghost, but a really cute ghost. With a dry background, we're now gonna lay out where our ghost is gonna be. So I'm gonna use my number 10 round brush and some white paint. And my ghost is gonna start down at the base and just kind of swoop in. So I'm just gonna make 2 kind of curved lines that copy each other. And then as my ghost goes up, I'm gonna give it just a small little rounder tip. So it almost kind of looks like a keyhole. I can go ahead and give this 1 coat of white paint before I start layering in my colors. Same number 10 round brush. I'm going to take some gray paint and just the smallest amount of that blue that I started with. So gray and blue. And I'm going to go over here on this side and I'm going to just kind of layer this gray and blue color in right along that edge. Kind of pulling that color straight over here to the side. So I'm starting on the edge and then I'm kind of curving my brush and having it go straight all the way to the curve of the other side. I'm going to do the same thing down here. So I've got the white paint, I've got the gray paint, I've got just a little bit of that blue color. Except this time I'm going to have to kind of follow that curve as I pull this color across. Same brush with just some gray paint on it. I'm gonna make a couple of lines, and these lines are where the sheet of my ghost kind of creates a shadow, okay? So I've got 4 of them on here, and from here, I'm gonna take my brush without any more gray on it and just kind of brush that to the left. So take my brush without any more gray on it, and just kind of brush that to the left. Take my brush, I can go ahead and wipe it off really good. I'm gonna move over to my finger. I love to use my finger for painting eyes. So with a little bit of black paint on my finger, I'm gonna make 2 oval eyes. Perfect. I'm gonna go in with my number 1 round brush with a little bit of watered down black paint. So I like to take just a small amount of water in my brush, put it in with my black before I use my smallest brush. And I'm gonna go in, I'm just gonna add a couple of little lines coming out of the top outside parts of the eyes. Now for this next step, I'm just gonna zoom you into the head because that's where we're gonna add our flowers in. The first thing we're gonna do is add a little bit of greenery. So I'm gonna take my yellow paint on my number 10 round brush, and I'm gonna make just some oval shapes, okay? And these oval shapes can go anywhere I want them to go, but they're gonna kind of follow around the head, and they can even get really close in touch. After I have the yellow on there, I can wipe my brush off, not wash it off. And I can take some green paint and I can add in a little bit of green. Can wash and wipe that brush off. I can go in with my number 6 round brush with a little bit of green paint. I'm going to add a couple of small little green lines, and then with those I'm just going to make stamps with my brush. So just take my brush and kind of set it down in that repeated pattern, and I get these great stamps of other greeneries. Let's zoom out for just a second here. While I'm waiting for these to dry a little bit, I'm going to take the back of my brush and I'm going to make some little white dots kind of all around my ghost head, but they're going to be thicker closer to the head, and as they get further away, I'm going to make them more sparse. All right, I'm gonna let this dry. When we come back, we're gonna add in those flowers. Okay, so there's a couple kind of flowers we could put on here. So I'm first gonna show you my rose because it's like one of my favorite flowers to make. And then we're gonna do a more of a petaled flower. So for my roses, I like to take paint on my finger and I like to make a small circle. Okay, I like to have a lot of paint on there so it's really thick. Wipe my finger off and then I like to take a second color. So I'm gonna pick orange. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna kind of swirl it together. What it'll do is it'll start to give it a couple of layers. Then after it's mostly dry, I'll come in and add a little bit of white around parts of it just to kind of brighten it up. So that's how I make my roses. Let's say I wanted to make a sunflower. So I'm gonna make petals that are what I like to call footballs, right? So it's like a smiley face and a frowny face all the way around. It's okay if some of that other color gets mixed in, because guess what? We're gonna mix it in. And then we're just gonna kind of fill these colors in with a red, orange, yellow mix. Then in the very center, we're gonna put a large black spot. And then in the center of that black spot, we're gonna use the back of our brush with some white paint again and add a couple of dots. Those dots are gonna kind of make a moon shape around the edges. So you can kind of add these flowers however you want. Another way to add flowers would be to use just your finger and add like 5 little dots of white. Of course, if they mix up with some orange, then you just got to go with it. And then add 1 dot of another color. Maybe I'm going to use red. Just put that dot right in the center. So lots of different options for flowers. I think I'm gonna make most of mine roses. I really love that rosy color. So I'm gonna make a couple more little roses on here. Some white paint. I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna make some curved lines on my roses. With the back of my brush, with a little bit of black paint, I'm gonna just put some dots of black right here in the center of each of these roses. With that number 6 round brush, I'm gonna take a little bit more clean white paint, and I'm gonna add just some lines of white to the edges of my sunflower. Now, my daughter, Bella, who just came down, she was actually born on Halloween, and we call her Bella Boo because she was a surprise. She was 6 weeks early, so Bella Boo's her name. But she came down and she's like, Mom, that ghost needs a smile. So for Bella, I was not gonna add one, but I am now. Just a small little black curved line smile with my number 6 round brush. If you want to add that, great. If you don't, that's completely fine too, but Bella requested it, and you know, moms, we do what we're told, right? Small little highlight on the top of the eye. And let's zoom out and see what else we need to do. Well, I have to be honest, I absolutely love her. So when you're finished, you know what you need to do. Find a color that's going to show up well on your canvas and sign your name. Remember that I never get to see what you're making at home unless you post it to my Facebook page, Painting with a Purpose. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Painting with a Purpose, so you're kept up to date on all of our latest tutorials. And remember, as always, stay kind, stay creative, and stay safe. Have a great day, friends. Bye now.